Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. This week we're going through the artwork that was the large dollar and the denominations back when the dollar was large. The amount of artwork that went into the US dollar and the 2 and the 5, the 10, the 20, and so on. The artwork was just gorgeous, and we went to a basic design and stuck with it ever since the 1920s. And so, more than 100 years ago, we actually had a beautiful paper dollar that we were pretty well proud of. We could be proud of it because literally it was a piece of art. So we'll go through some of the dollars here, and especially kind of remembrance of the dollar with a scare going on that the US dollar may be losing its value and may die here soon. So future will tell. So on to the subject. We'll go ahead and get set up here, and we'll start the video. So we start off with the state of North Carolina. Back during the Civil War era, I apologize. There was a lack of coinage because people were hoarding the precious metals. They were scared that the dollar value would drop and the precious metals would become more valuable. So the banks and the states came up with their own currency, like the fractionals and the obsolete currency. And these were kind of the first of the promissory notes. After the war, this is early in 1863, the battles were just starting, but the war wasn't in full motion yet. And if you look about right here, it says you can turn this in January 1st of 1866 and get the equivalent of 5 cents. They're almost kind of like bonds, almost. And then staying in the state of North Carolina, the $2 bill. Literally, it was stamped on there. It wasn't printed. They literally just took a rubber stamp, dipped in ink, and stamped it on there and signed it. And this one, if you notice right here, is numbered 5. So a very low serial number on this. This was put out October 6th of 1861. And also what they did is printed money. They would cut up and put stamps on it for like 25 cents and stuff. These were remainder notes from companies or from loaners for companies, like the Mechanics Saving and Loan Associates from Savannah, Georgia. Stuff like this, and you'll find railroad remainder tickets and stuff. They didn't have the coinage to pay back people money, so they gave you this kind of an IOU, and you took it to their bank, and you get 25 cents out of their account. Another one from the state of Georgia, Milledgeville, 50 cents. Again, the rubber stamp type thing. And next up, the state of Florida, kind of a simple print. And it's got an underprint and an overprint of red and blue there. The 10 cent and the 25 cent. And then we get to the larger notes from the states. You have a $20 bill from the Bank of Augusta, Georgia. This was actually a print on a very thin, almost like rice paper. But the artwork, I mean, the two women up top with the shield and the eagle, a kind of classical type artwork, train. And I'm not sure who that is on the side there. That could have been the governor of Georgia or the mayor of Augusta. Maybe the president of the Bank of Augusta at the time. As you see, the check is numbered 3106, but it was never dated. So I think they had these numbered and ready to go, but they were never used. I apologize. I'm having sinus infection right now. That's why my voice is so weird. With these, you had these are U.S. currency for the state of Louisiana, and this is an actual bond, a war bond. Kind of helped the rebuilding of America after the Civil War. And if you bought this, the $5 bond, you got 11 7.5-cent coupons. And I believe it was for baby food or baby goods, something like that. And the reverse, the artwork that went to the reverse, you can see that the coupons 8, 9, 10, 1 through 7 was already used. And with the holes in it, I believe this was finally turned in after the rebuilding for the $5 back. But you got to think about this design, this artwork. They didn't have computers back then to create these web designs, this anti-counterfeiting design. These were literally done by hand. All the curvatures, all the webbing, all that stuff. Everything was done by hand. Apologize, I had to sneeze here. Going on to the next page, you get into the really gorgeous work. In New Brunswick, New Jersey, the State Bank at New Brunswick, they really put out some really nice notes. If you've seen Silver Picker's videos, you've seen the ones that I've given to him since he went to Rutgers there in New Brunswick. And the artwork of the one with all the 1 coins around it. I mean, just gorgeous stuff. The ring of all the 1 coins. Apparently the rail system was a very huge thing back then because there is a lot of money with the rail lines of trains on it. I mean, just beautiful work, and also using the different colors to form all this work. Again, even the bordering. All this was hand done. This was not done by computers. I mean, you look at the verse, the Union Shield, the two wheels on both sides. Yeah, I never sat and counted those, but I mean, it could be 101 cents making the outer rings of those. Representing that the dollar is 100 cents. And of course, I mean, the history of the dollar starts kind of late in American history. America's always been based on coinage. Since 1792, the strongest currency was the coin. And if you got a dollar, you got a silver dollar. If you got $5, you got a gold $5. A half eagle. And they were based on their weight in that metal. I apologize. Going back to the train again. Front and center on the state of Florida, and Florida does have a lot of rail systems running through it that's been there for a couple of 100 years, since the beginning of the rail lines. On one side you have a Seminole Indian princess, and on the other side, I'm not sure who that's supposed to represent. She has a reaper in her hand. Kind of a bare-chested woman there, out there in the fields. Both of these Floridas are from Tallahassee, and I believe they are from the same series. The $2 bill and the $5 bill. Again, Seminole princess, bare-chested. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous designs that we don't even do nowadays. And with the older bills, the best way to know that they're authentic, if the back is blank, you can actually see the ink coming through the paper. I apologize. Yeah, as soon as I sat down, man, I did not have any nose problems, but now that I'm talking, it's just running and running. So we go into fractional currency. Like I said earlier, the U.S. was having a coin shortage towards the beginning of the Civil War and throughout the Civil War. So what they did is they created money that was based on the value of the stamp, the U.S. postal stamp. So literally, this was 3 cents in stamps. Instead of being backed by silver, these were backed by postal stamps. So the actual name for these is postal currency. And, you can see some of the artwork here. I'm not going to show them too much because they're pretty well beat up. I mean, gorgeous artwork on these. A 15-cent stamp with the U.S. Treasury seal. And this is about the first time the Treasury seal actually came out. You find them on these fractionals. This was almost the first usage on U.S. currency. Put that back in. Again, later on with the 25-cent from the same series with George Washington on it. Another 25-cent, another 50-cent. I believe he was the Secretary of the Treasury at that time. And these aren't currency. This is actually tickets to the Columbian World Exposition in 1893. These are 4 of the 6 season pass tickets. The other 2 being Benjamin Franklin and I believe one was an artist or something. But you have George Washington, Lincoln, Columbus, and the Native American Indian. Then you had your day passes, such as one that was for a special day, the Manhattan Day. You had one for children for a day pass for them to come in. And you had tickets that were good for the day you bought them. So I'm not going to pull both of them out, but this is from the series of 1899. And it's, to me, one of the most beautiful series of the U.S. dollar. You had the Black Eagle $1 bill, which you can tell why it's called that. Down at the bottom, you had Abraham Lincoln and Ulysses S. Grant. Being the blue seal and the blue 1, you know that this is a silver certificate. And literally, silver certificate, again, was a promissory note. The coin was still a very strong thing. This was given to you as easier to carry. It was easier to carry this bill instead of carrying a bunch of heavy silver Morgans or sitting Liberty dollars or trade dollars. And again, the beautiful green, the reason why these are called the greenback. And you can sit there and read these, you can pause the video and read them, but I'm going back into all the webbing work, all the artwork on the back. This was done by hand. There were great artists back then doing all this. This was not designed up on a computer and printed out. They were literally making engravings into a printing press. And then moving on, well, let me add one more thing. I did find out the end of the serial number, that's called a crow's foot. The U.S. Treasury, they put those on there in case they ever wanted to continue on a run afterwards. That's a placeholder. That's pretty much to end the series, but to hold the place in case they ever want to restart the series up again. Going on with the same series of 1899, you had the mini portal $2 bill. Mini portal being the George Washington picture in there. Not even taking up a third of the height of the bill. But the man, the woman on the side. Again, it's a crow's foot, a placeholder. Also going into the artwork on the reverse, the greenback. Again, you can pause it here and read that if you want to. Literally, these notes promised that if you brought it in the bank, they would give you that money in silver. There is a guarantee that the bearer of this bill would get silver. Then you had the legal tender U.S. notes. I'm trying to remember what this one's called. I believe it's the sawhorse. And I'll show you why in a minute. But it's a depiction of Columbus finding the New World. And the red seal, usually these were used over in areas that did not belong to the U.S. And that will come up in history during World War II with the Hawaiian notes and everything. These red seals were used in different countries like Puerto Rico and stuff like that were under the control of the U.S. At that time of these. These were used in territories that were not under control of the U.S. So if the U.S. ever lost that territory, these could be demonetized. I mean, that's been my understanding of the U.S. notes. If I am wrong, please correct me. And then you got the first of kind of what we use now. We literally have this design, but this is the larger note known as the horse blanket. Yeah, it's still a really nice bill, but sorry, this note was shrunk down to modern size and pretty much the same design element was used. The reverse is almost like the funny backs, still using the great artwork done by hand. The other one is pretty much the same bill. We go on to the next. We go on to the Jefferson $2 bill. Again, a red seal legal tender. Beautiful, beautiful artwork on the reverse. Then you go into the national bank, or the national currency. These were backed by the U.S. And promissory notes for specific banks. You would take this to that bank to get your money. You couldn't take it to another bank, literally. I believe these seals, of course, were your silver certificates. They were the earlier ones. And later on, I think about 10 years later, they went to the red seal. These aren't as the U.S. notes are. They were just using the colors here to differentiate. I really don't know the history behind this, but I'm looking at the artwork on these. I mean, the beautiful I'm not sure if those are fishermen having problems with the surf or exactly what's going on in that picture. But you can pause it there and read that if you want to. And then the woodcutter, or the wood chopper, $5 bill. Again, this is U.S. notes. It was used in territories not under U.S. control at the time. They kind of were silver certificates, but literally you can bring this in from the territories to the U.S. banks on the U.S. controlled land and be able to trade in for a blue silver certificate or a legal money is what they say. This is legal tender. Literally, you can trade in for legal money. And again with the 1899, the Indian Chief $5 bill. I mean, again, the artwork on these. Yeah, I know this video is getting long. The last of the large bills. This is the horse blanket 5. I'm going to try to cut this short a little bit. This is the earliest and most valuable bill I have. I want to say this is 1861 or 8. No, I apologize. This is 1885. This is what's called a brownback. And I liked it because of the number. It was 888. Very beautiful bill. These can get up into the thousands. Especially in this condition. It's a gorgeous condition bill. And another important bill in U.S. history. Probably one of the most collectible. As soon as I get this back in a slot. Crap. Sorry. Not being very cooperative. There. The Bison $10 bill. Highly sought after, highly collected bill. Only the Indian Chief is nearly as collective as this one is. I just wish I didn't have that stamp down there. But still a very gorgeous reverse. And talking about the horse blankets again, I have the 10 and the 20. If you went higher than that, you're going into the gold certificates. Funny backs going into the silvers when you go into the modern design. As you see, they have a different back. That's why these were called funny backs. The U.S. currency, or U.S. Notes in $2 bills. And my favorite, of course, I'm a Clemson fan. These are the double paw print bills. I will have a short video off to the side explaining those. These are just star notes and other things. 1976, the first day where you stamped them, you took them in the post office and they canceled the stamp on April 13th, 1976. That was the first day of release of these $2 bills. And I mean, after they went to the modern size, literally they all say the same. Gold certificate. The only difference with these, of course, is the golden seal and the golden numerals on there, and it says gold certificate. But everything else stayed pretty well the same. The one thing I'm looking for is the more historical bills. Okay, so your brown seals. The Hawaiian bills, I believe everybody's heard the story of why they made these. Again, it's like the red ones. These were given to the U.S. soldiers in Hawaii, and at that time, Hawaii was not under U.S. jurisdiction. But they still supplied currency there. And there's a fear that the Japanese would take over the island. They tried. But if they did take over the island, they could demonetize these so the Japanese couldn't use them against us and mess up our economy. Same with Europe and North Africa. They had yellow seal notes, and again, the same story. If the Germans took over, they could be demonetized and not used against us. And then, of course, the special and the regular notes. If you notice the S and the R on these, one is made out of a special paper, one is made out of a regular paper. And they're trying to see which one would last better, and they were pretty much both the same, so they stuck with the regular paper. So that is it with my bill collection and kind of the history of the U.S. dollar type thing and showing the artwork. So if you enjoy the video, please leave a thumbs up. Until next time, have a great week and a great weekend. And hopefully I'll get over the sinus infection. So until next time, have a great one. See y'all later.